The other important issue that the President touched on there with my colleague Aldrin Sempier is the issue of political assassinations in KZN. And his words there are the law must take its course and those responsible should be booked. And it takes us back actually to this story of a high-profile ANC figure who's appearing in court tomorrow morning. This in connection with the 2017 murder of former ANC Youth League Secretary General Sindiso Magaqa. At the time of his death, Magaqa was a PR councillor at the corruption-ridden KZN South Coast uMzimkhulu municipality. And that's where we find our reporter Samgele Masego, who is keeping a beady eye on the story from uMzimkhulu. Samgele, good morning to you once again. We've just had a comment from the President saying that the rule of law must take its course. These are the words of the President. Is that the same that people are calling for down there?
Yes, indeed, community members here and supporters of Sindiso Magaqa and his family are calling for law enforcement officers to play their role and the law to take its course. But I'm going to throw straight. I've got two gentlemen here. I've got Thabiso Zulu on my left, a staunch ally and friend of the late Sindiso Magaqa. And then on my right, I've got the incumbent PEC member and deployee of the ANC to the Herigwala region. That would be Ricardo Mthembu, whom I'll throw a few questions to straight. Ricardo, what's the status of the men, the ANC heavyweight, PWC member, PEC member, Herigwala District Municipality Mayor? What's his status? Has he been charged? And what is the ANC saying about his appearance, which was meant to be today, now taking place tomorrow?
No, thanks very much. I think as a PEC of KwaZulu-Natal, we are shocked about the news that we have learned, as you know. And I think as a Provincial Executive Committee, we are going to allow the law to take its course. Of course, I think we can say that as an ANC, we cannot preempt as we speak now. But I think when we get the full report in terms of the implications of our member, and then, of course, as a PEC, we have to take a decision in terms of his standing on the matter that is we are talking about today.
Has he been charged? What's the information you are getting from his family and from those who are surrounding him? Has he been charged, or what's actually going on? Is it just questioning?
Well, I think as we are here today, we're going to get the full report as he was going to appear. Unfortunately, he's not appearing today, he's appearing tomorrow. But we must say that we are happy with the work done by the team that has been established by the President, led of course by the Minister of Police, because I think the family need to find a conclusion on the matter. And all of us, of course, we lost one of our cadre that we were very, very happy to see him growing politically. But of course, for us, politically, we need to be careful on our comments without having an information, and therefore our comment will be better placed when we get the information exactly the charges laid against our comrade, particularly Comrade Ndobe, who is the PWC member and also a PEC member. But we are happy that the police are doing something. Ours, of course, is to get clear exactly what are the charges, and then we take decision from there.
Mike Babuyakulu was charged. He's not in the list anymore. He stepped aside. Seemingly, Ndobe is appearing before a judge. There has to be a charge involved if he is appearing before a judge. Should there be concrete evidence, a charge sheet that is on your desk, what will happen to him?
Of course, this is a serious matter. It's a very, very serious matter which needs to be handled with care. And of course, if really there is something that gives us an authority to say he must step down, of course, we are not going to hesitate to take that decision. And I believe himself, he will also voluntarily do exactly like Babuyakulu did.
Well, that was Ricardo Mthembu, ANC's PEC deployee to the Herigwala region. I'm going to throw to Sindiso Magaqa's friend Thabiso Zulu. Remember him, Oli? He spoke at the Moerane Commission and said that Till to date, the murder of Sibusiso Sibiya Mshibe, the former regional secretary of eThekwini, has not been resolved. The death of the former ANC Youth League provincial secretary in the province, Wandile Mkhize, ANC heavyweight in the Lower South Coast region, was gunned down after the 2012 NGC, has not been resolved. Thabiso, someone has been apprehended for the death of your political ally, Sindiso Magaqa. What is your perspective and view?
We are vindicated. We are vindicated because when we were speaking in front of thousands of our people during the memorial service, when we appeared before the Moerane Commission, when we cooperated with the public protector's self-initiated investigation, we said these killings were nothing else but were political, were from our own comrades. It was our own comrades that were hiring assassins to assassinate their own comrades. We feel vindicated. We were ridiculed at the time. We were doubted on what we were saying. We never received support from our own organization. The ANC was nowhere all along. They are here now because they want to shine in what we are doing. We feel that even at the time when there were 2 threat assessments reports that were done on us, the threat assessment investigations that were done on us by State Security Agency, by Crime Intelligence and by the Public Protector, which indicated that we were supposed to be protected by the state. The state was nowhere to assist us. Even up until today, the state is not providing us with security. So we are quite vindicated, though.
I saw you walking in with security. Then where does that security come from? Are you part of the people that the Public Protector says the Minister of Police, Magistrate, has not complied with and provided you with state security to make sure that you are safe?
The Public Protector was referring to me or to myself and Comrade Les Tuta. Up until today, we have not been provided with security. No one, even in senior leadership, is even willing just to make a call and check on our health. How are we doing? How are we surviving? And check on our safety. It's a matter of waiting for us to die. Then when we die, they will come and make funeral rallies where they will go and campaign and promise our families that we are not going to starve. They are going to investigate this, that, and that. This is a serious indictment on our own organization where people have been claiming that these killings were that force plot. And we've been maintaining all along that these killings are nothing else but a work of political gangsters within our own organization.
I'm just going to move aside here. I'm not sure if I'm going to disturb the camera work. I'm going to ask Kuri to come forward as well. Your member here is saying riveting things about your organization, saying it's political grandstanding, you trying to basically portray yourselves as a beautiful organization, yet families are being starved, and alleging that there are political gangsters within your own ranks who are killing one of their own. Sindiso Magaqa, his friend, is 6 feet under. What is the ANC doing when your members are saying it's political gangsterism and thugs masquerading as leaders and comrades?
No thanks. I think as we are here, we must say that we appreciate the work done. And the work that has been done by the police is because of the pressure from the African National Congress. What I'm not going to do is to discuss things that, because Thabiso is a member, if he has issues with the ANC, if he's still a member of the ANC, he knows the channels. We're not going to use this situation like this where families and everybody is concerned about what we are reading, what we are here for, and then divert to issues that can be processed in a normal process of the African National Congress. I know Thabiso, if he had an issue, I'm here, I worked with him in the Youth League, he will approach me and then of course approach the leadership, because some of the issues he raised I'm not aware of. So we are still here. He's still our comrade. He mustn't be emotional.
But Ricardo, he is saying he has not been provided security by a member of the ANC in eThekwini region, Magistrate, who hails from this province, whom you as a PEC, you have seen the Public Protector issuing out a report saying him and Les Tuta, who has basically been exiled from this area, who's no longer in uMzimkhulu, and Herikwala, whom I spoke to yesterday because of safety. They do not have protection. They have to get protection on their own. Their own organization, the ANC, is not protecting them.
Yes, the ANC as an organization, it's twofold. The ANC runs the state. The ANC is also an organization. So in this part, we're talking about the role that was supposed to be played by the state, which I think Thabiso must approach the African National Congress, and the African National Congress approach authorities who say there is an outstanding matter. As I'm here, it's the first time I'm hearing about the matter. But I'm saying if indeed there is a requirement that Thabiso must be provided with security, we will follow up as an organization.
I'll ask you a direct question. When last did the ANC in the province visit the home of Sindiso Magaqa? We understand he was the sole breadwinner. What are they eating? What supplies do they have? Do they have electricity? Are Sindiso Magaqa's kids' school fees being paid up? Where is the ANC taking responsibility for that?
Of course, we do have structures. Here we have a regional executive committee. I remember that even Thabiso, I remember I was there when he was elected. Those structures are the ones that interact with the family of Magaqa. And if there are issues that need to be escalated to a level of a province, the region does that. For now, I have not learned of anything regarding the family of Magaqa. So if there are issues, as I'm saying, it must be brought to the attention of the province, and then the province will deal with it to try and paint a picture of ANC that does not care for its members. I think it's wrong, because issues must be brought to the attention of the ANC. I'm the member of the Provincial Executive Committee and the PwC deployed here. I have never received any call informing me about anything that needs our attention. So we don't want to create a debate between ourselves and Thabiso. Thabiso is our member. If he's unhappy about something, we need to attend to that something and see where we can help. We do not want to create a debate about it.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. That was Ricardo Thabiso. You heard him for himself responding. What's your view?
He's my senior leader. I will never argue with him in public. I'm a disciplined member of the ANC. But one important thing that needs to be clarified is that this is an issue of life and death. You are talking about people who are having security. They will say whatever they want to say. They read about our plight in the media. They heard when the state security issued a report. I've spoken to the premier of this province. I have had 2 meetings with Comrade Begitsele as a Minister of Police. I've interacted with quite a lot of people. I've written to Deputy President David Mabuza. I've written to the Secretary General of the ANC. Tumseni Ntuli, our provincial secretary, is aware of my matter. The former President, President Zuma, I met him on the 6th of October on 2017. There is no person that I haven't interacted with, myself together with Les. So I think it's a fallacy and it's a figment on the part of anyone within our own organization. It's that figment that we had at the time when people were claiming that the killings was a plot of the third force. And we still maintained our comrades were being killed by their own comrades. And we still maintain even today that comrades all over are being killed by their own comrades. And the organization must start to own up so that we'll be in a position to correct whatever is going on.
So you believe that the people who've been apprehended are the ones behind the death of Sindiso Magaqa? Not to say that they are guilty myself.
Listen, I wouldn't pronounce that. I'm not a court of law. But what is very important is that if the organization had listened to myself, had listened to Mandla Ngcobo, we started exposing corruption as early as 2013, 2014. As early as 2014, 2013. In 2014, I went and I had a meeting, and I've said this in public. Comrade Sihle, I've never denied it. He was a provincial secretary. I went to him and I said, Comrade Sihle, I'm willing to volunteer information. In our region, comrades are going to kill each other. And I mentioned 3 comrades, the gang of 3. As this one have been arrested, the one who's called the Black Mamba. The person who's going to be the next mayor, it's another crook. They're going to put another crook as they did at Engweni local municipality, where they removed Nomakuku after we have exposed her corruption. They tried to put another crook, not Lamin. Then we exposed that crook, and that crook was later sentenced and convicted. So I'm saying to you, if our own organization is serious about dealing with corruption, why doesn't protect its own members when they expose corruption? Why does it victimize those who expose corruption? They victimized Mandla Ngcobo. They demoted Mandla Ngcobo. They removed Mandla Ngcobo as a council, but they are putting on the list the corrupt ones.
Well, that was Thabiso Zulu firing at his organization. A PEC member and employee Ricardo Mtembu is here to listen for himself. I'm even lost for words to summing it up.
Samgele, I want you, for the benefit of the viewers, to keep those 2 guests with you, because what I'm going to do now is actually cue a soundbite from Mluleki Ndobe, who at the time was the Deputy Secretary of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, and I was talking to him at the height of political killings in KZN. This was just days before the 2016 local government elections. On that particular day, Mluleki Ndobe delivered a eulogy at the funeral of an ANC ward councillor candidate in Newcastle, who had been assassinated. Now, Ndobe was one of the leaders who suggested at the time that the killing was plotted from within the ANC. Let's just listen to Mluleki Ndobe for a second.
We want all the perpetrators to be apprehended, and we don't want only those that have pulled the trigger, but we want all the mastermind and those that are plotting in dark corners to be arrested, so that we close this chapter once and for all.
Once it's confirmed that the masterminds, as you say, are within the ANC itself, what happens to them?
Any member or leader of the ANC who is involved in political killings is no longer a member or leader of the ANC, and will treat that person as a criminal and a hooligan. That person will be dismissed from the ANC with immediate effect.
That was Mluleki Ndobe speaking to me back in July of 2016, Samgele Masego. And I want you to put the question to the leader of the ANC there, standing next to Sindiso, and ask him the question: if the former deputy secretary of the ANC in that province, his words were, if any of the leaders of the ANC are responsible for plotting these killings, that person should be immediately removed from the party. Would they stand by that? Is that what they're going to do, seeing that the former secretary of the ANC may possibly be, and we need to be very cautious around this, may possibly be the one who will appear in court tomorrow?
Yes, Oli. Ricardo, Ndobe, speaking in one of the regions in KZN here, said that if their leaders, or one of their leaders, is found to have been guilty of being the mastermind behind political killings in this province, they will cease to be a member of the ANC, and they will treat that member as a criminal. Does this apply, or possibly apply to him, should he appear before this court tomorrow as the one who masterminded and plotted to kill Sindiso Magaqa?
Yeah, no, definitely. If Ndobe is found being involved or guilty, worse if he's guilty, of course, I think it's not because he said so, it's because the ANC says so. So he will. As I'm saying that we have learned this over the weekend. Today we are here. Of course, it didn't appear. The structure will sit and the ANC will pronounce itself in terms of the stance it's taking. We're not going to be wishy-washy about taking a stance on what has happened here. Because, of course, the people that we must be sympathetic with, it's a family of the people who were killed.
So you will tear up his membership, and he will cease to be a member of the ANC, and he will cease to be in a position of responsibility, PEC, PWC, district mayor here, and chairperson of Salga in the province.
Yes, of course, there are two processes here. One, he's not found guilty as we speak. So there is a process, of course, that the ANC as an organization need to pronounce itself on while the case is still on motion. The second one is an issue when he's found guilty, and then, of course, where the issues that we are raising will apply in terms of him ceasing to be a member and of course, being in all deployments of the ANC.
With all due respect, here you are practicing double standards, Ricardo. Michael Mabuyakhulu has not been found guilty of anything. He voluntarily stepped us out. He's still a member of the ANC. Yeah. He's still a deputy chairperson of the ANC, but he's no longer in government, and he's no longer on the list to go to the National Assembly.
Yeah, so that's correct.
Provincial Assembly.
What we are saying to say it's a double standard. That's why I'm saying there are two processes. When a person is not found guilty, we cannot then say he's no longer a member of the ANC. But in terms of other processes, in terms of him being a mayor, in terms of him being a list, the ANC is going to sit down and then discuss and take a position. ANC does not take position just willy-nilly. We sit down and agree to say this is a serious case, and then these are the decisions that we are taking. So for you to say the double standard, I think you are trying to push me on something that I'm not going to go to. I'm going to put here the position of the ANC to say we are viewing this as a serious case, and of course the ANC need to sit down and say this is a decision we are taking as a collective.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. Sindiso, you heard Ricardo's response. Ndobe, speaking in KwaZulu-Natal in the Emalahleni region, said that those who are found to have been masterminds behind political killings will cease to be members of the ANC. They will be treated as criminals. He may be possibly, if he should appear before this court and charged and investigated and found guilty, he may have to suffer the consequences of those words. What's your view?
My view is that the African National Congress at the end is the final arbiter. We will respect whatever decision the organization will take. We have respected other decisions, even those that we did not agree with. We continued to raise issues within our own organization, and when we felt that they were taking wrong decisions, we expressed ourselves even in public. So even in this one, we'll watch the space very closely, as our president always say, to see how our own organization is going to process this matter. But we would like to plead with our own organization that ANC is a unitary organization. It must not act in a certain way in Limpopo, act in another way in Gauteng, that those who are suspected or are implicated in serious charges like murder, corruption and other charges, they are referred to the Integrity Commission in other provinces. And here in KZN, we are having people that are facing very serious charges, but they have not been referred to the Integrity Commission of the organization, as other names that we have just mentioned. I can tell you now that there are other investigations that we have done that has led to the prosecution and conviction. For an example, we are having 3 mayors at Dr. Nkosazana and Dlamini Zuma municipality, whom through our own investigations, after we reported to the organization and did nothing, we referred the matters to the DPCI, ACTT, and those people were convicted, but they remain councillors even today as we speak.
I'll ask you one direct question. We're out of time. Just one simple response. Should he be removed from the ANC's province-to-province list? He sits at number 3. Some are saying this is a political conspiracy to remove him from being an MEC after the 8th of May elections. Should he remain on that list?
The issue of the political conspiracy is always a refuge for criminals and political gangsters. Any political gangster that is facing charges will always say there is a political conspiracy. The only way to defeat a political conspiracy is to go to court and expose that political conspiracy. But to answer your question directly, he must be removed like anybody else who have been removed because they are facing serious charges. These are not just minor charges like stealing a poloni at a tech shop. This is a serious charge. A man died and his kids are starving because no one is supporting them. We're not going to be wishy-washy about it just because we're trying to please certain people.
Where's the foundation Pulemabe, Ronald Lamula, Zizi Godwa, and allegedly Figile Mbalula promised? I saw a tweet from the former president of the Youth League, Julius Malema. Where's that foundation?
That was a funeral rally gimmick, so I'm not going to answer into that. Thank you.
Well, Oli, funeral rally gimmicks, political gangsters, people not being removed until they are found guilty, from the ANC's words, Ricardo Mthembu and Thabiso Zulu. And of course, that all-important bite that you played with those questions you posed to Mluleki Ndobe.
Thank you very much, my colleague Samgele Masego, down in uMzimkhulu in conversation with a friend of the deceased Sindiso Magaqa, who's also an ANC member and alongside a provincial executive committee member there. All right.